proprietor of ATC Mobile, current CEO here. Honored to have you all here with us today. Let me start by saying to everybody in the room, welcome home to Mother Mobile. Good to be here. So several years ago, I was working up at headquarters, and it had been announced that I was going to be the commanding officer here. And I received an email from the current CEO, my good friend Tom Main. Tom, where are you out there? Wave a hand. Anybody pointing out? Anyway, yeah, I know he's here. And to kind of sum up the context of the email was, Tom, I just signed you up for the 2016 Centennial of Coast Guard Aviation Terror Roost. You can thank me later. So that was a little gift he gave at the time, and little did I realize at the time what an extraordinary gathering this really would be, to have all these faces here. I didn't realize at the time that it was also going to coincide with the 50th anniversary of ATC Mobile, nor did I envision that I would find myself addressing the living history of Coast Guard aviation. That is what is here today, and it is an amazing honor to be here. And so, as you all know, no good party goes off smoothly without a good XO and a project team, both of which I'm blessed to have. My XO, Commander Jeremy Smith. XO, where are you? There he is, back there. He realized the enormity of this event last year, and he put together an all-star team. And that team here at ATC is led by Lieutenant Commander Chris Enixon. Chris, where are you? Running around. Raise your hand. There you are. Chris Enixon has been a busy man. He will truly be the happiest man in Mobile, maybe next to George Kreitmeyer come Sunday afternoon when we get this done. So a round of applause, please, for my Chris Enixon and the team that helped him. Now, tradition dictates that this is the point where I should recognize all the VIPs in the audience and to thank them for attending. But in this case, I would simply have to read the entire guest list. It's an amazing group that is here today. I will thank our most senior active duty officer, our current Ancient Albatross, Vice Admiral Ray, for being here today, sir. You're an extraordinarily busy man, and we're truly appreciate your presence, sir. Also with us today on the stage, I can't go without recognizing is Master Chief Clay Hill as well, who doesn't look like he's as old as he is. Every time I look at him, he's still maintaining that age. But I know. It's great to have you here, Master Chief. Thanks for being here. So really, overall, we gathered in Mobile this week to celebrate the Centennial of Aviation, but for the few hours today, we're going to really focus on celebrating the 50 years of ATC and showing you, the people that built this place, the current state of Mother Mobile. So put yourself in my shoes up here. I'm not sure which is more intimidating. The multiple current retired flag officers and Master Chiefs in attendance. Whoa. The uncounted number of prior COs that are out there. We saw 15 on the invite list that said they were going to commit to come. There's ATC plank owners out there. There's the project officer of ATC Mobile, Captain Les High. And then there's my wife, and there's a spouse. The spouses of all the former CEOs and the hundreds of others of you that are out there that played a significant role in building ATC to what it is today. And all of you are looking at me and wondering if I've screwed up your good work. I'm trying not to. We're trying hard. I have a great crew. But what last night really made me realize is what this weekend really is this is a family reunion. A gathering what Fran and I truly consider to be our Coast Guard aviation family. And I think many of you feel the same way. I say that line to our nuggets, to our new aviators when they show up. A line I give them when they check in is welcome to the family. You'll realize that soon enough. It may take a few years, it may take 20 or 30 years, but you'll understand that you're a part of something bigger than you. You're a part of Coast Guard aviation now. So indeed, welcome home. See the current state of the institution that this collective audience and thousands more like you that aren't here today that played a role in building this place. ATC is truly a unique unit in the Coast Guard. We have all been stationed here at one time or another. It may have just been for a few months at a time, but all of us have been stationed in ATC Mobile. Who else can you say that? What other Coast Guard unit can you say that about? So what's new with ATC? The truth is, not much. ATC has certainly grown a bit over the past 50 years. The aircraft have changed, and we've added some new capabilities and certainly some new buildings. But the basic processes of fleet pilot training and fleet standardization are essentially the same as the processes that Captain High established when he was here. All his hard work has gone to prove that it was standing the test of time. For 50 years, we do what you taught us to do from the beginning, sir. You set us up. And one thing I can assure you of is that the quality, the dedication, and the commitment of the young men and women here at ATC, and in the fleet that have followed our founding fathers, is of the same caliber. We're in good hands. So I look forward to showing you all around, and more importantly to me, to continue to hear your stories about your time here at ATC. So once again, I'm honored to have you all back here at home. So happy anniversary, and Semper Paratus. Thank you. Administrative notes before I go too far away from the mic is that at some point, if we could get the blank owners, and that we're here for the beginning, and the former commanding officers as well, up front here for a group shot so that we can capture that for history. And also in the back there is a guest book. And it would be a great capture of history if you could take the time to just put your name in that book so we can capture who is here today. And now we're going to cut the cake so that we can cut the cake in the back and start serving that up.
For inviting us to have our roost here in Mobile this year, and also to celebrate ATC's 50th anniversary. Thank you very much for that. Apparently I didn't get the email that must have gone out. I guess I'm the only guy up here authorized to wear civilian clothes. Looks like I'm also the only guy up here authorized to have hair. So. Last night we celebrated 2 inductions into the Hall of Honor, and we did not have the third group of people here who we're going to induct today. That'll be our next order of business. So assisting me in the presentation of these small plaques, the miniature plaques of the larger plaques that will ultimately hang in Erickson Hall today, are Vice Admiral Charles Ray and Master Chief Petty Officer Clay Hill. So I am now going to read the names of the people. I would like those people to come up on stage and stand here until we read the citation that is typed on the award. First person is Chief Warrant Officer Todd Tony Adams, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Chief Warrant Officer Ronald Ron Butcher, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Senior Chief Aviation Survivalman Gary A. Cox, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Master Chief Aviation Survival Technician Joseph Butch Flight, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Master Chief Aviation Survival Technician Pete R. Jensen, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Master Chief Aviation Survivalman Errol Kubicki, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Chief Warrant Officer Kirk S. Duprin, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Chief Aviation Survivalman Gary M. Parsons, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Aviation Survival Technician First Class William Bill Rankin, U.S. Coast Guard retired. Aviation Survival Technician First Class John L. Ungafu, U.S. Coast Guard retired, and I apologize if I messed that up. Master Chief Aviation Survival Technician George A. Waters, U.S. Coast Guard retired. And representing Lieutenant Commander Joe Rodriguez, U.S. Coast Guard retired, his sons Joey Rodriguez and David Rodriguez. These energetic, collaborative, and problem-solving aviation survivalman instructors, within a very challenging period of seismic change, created the next generation of their expanding cadre, retained the survival equipment expertise, flight crew maturity, and leadership skills of some fine petty officers, and set a foundation for future training and operational successes in Coast Guard aviation. They prepared 126 rookies and 31 older ASMs for a path of triumph through the rigorous training required to become helicopter rescue swimmers. When the Navy Swimmer School was suddenly shut down for 6 months, they developed and conducted a special Coast Guard rescue swimmer course. Those graduates then enabled 7 critical air stations to start deploying rescue swimmers. These and the many other efforts of these 12 ASMs contributed mightily in making the U.S. Coast Guard Helicopter Rescue Swimmer Program come to fruition and to sustain itself into the future. In recognition of their immediate and lasting contributions to our service, the ASM school instructors from September 1987 to June 1990 are hereby inducted into the Coast Guard Aviation Hall of Honor. The plaque has been unveiled, and we will now have some remarks from Aviation Survivalman Chief Gary A. Cox, Senior ASM School Instructor throughout the period of recognition.
30 years. It doesn't seem like that long ago we were all together, serving, wearing Coast Guard uniforms. I appreciate every one of you that's up here today. I don't think any of us at the time could realize the impact that the Helicopter Rescue Swimmer Program would have on the saving of so many lives around the world. I think in a time when many old-timers were skeptical as to whether or not the survival training, rescue swimmer program, Coast Guard-wide would survive, we simply, on a day-to-day basis, tried to do what needed to be done, and that was to simply graduate ASMA school students. We never viewed our additional tasking as anything more than just doing our jobs. And here's why. We learned from previous generations of Coasties, sitting out here today, how to be resourceful with what we had to work with, how to work hard, how to fix the aircraft, how to fly them with this one thing in mind, so that others may live. The men who stand here today, we acknowledge those that have gone on before us, who have given their lives with this one thought, that others may live. We're blessed to be here today. We're also blessed and honored as well to have stand with us the sons of Joe Rodriguez, whom we truly miss. And thank you, Colleen, for being here and sharing our memories of Joe as well. All of us as former A school instructors understand that we merely happen to be there at the right place at the right time for such a cause as this. We thank the Coast Guard Aviation Association for your consideration and our nomination to the Coast Guard Aviation Hall of Honor. We also wish to thank the ones who advocated on our behalf for this consideration and nomination as well. We thank you for those who are responsible for the historical documentation of what actually took place. I'll be honest with you, I'd forgotten a lot of it. It's refreshing to look back on it as well. Also, we thank you, especially a hearty thank you to then Program Manager, Commander Hugh O'Doherty, who is here somewhere. You often inspired us to keep going when the going was tough. Your interest in us individually and in our personal lives, even beyond retirement, is appreciated more than words alone can express. You do hold a very special place in our hearts. I salute all of you here today. Thank you for a job well done. God bless America. May God bless the men and women of the United States Coast Guard. Thank you.
Thank you, Senior Chief Cox, for your profound and inspiring remarks. We will now unveil the previous award winners. So if I could ask Captain Dan Burbank to step up. Master Chief Hill and Vice Admiral Ray are going to help him unveil his plaque. And I think Bob Powers is going to take a photo or two. That's not a Coast Guard blue flight suit, that's a NASA blue flight suit. It's an extra unveil away. Now I'd like to invite our 92-year-old honoree, Les Hott, to step up. Drum roll. We have one more unveiling. It's a surprise, and there is an artist that exists out there who has sort of decided to specialize in Coast Guard art. His name is Brian Snuffer, and I'd like to invite Brian to the stage to say a few words about this particular painting he has created for this occasion. Brian?
There he goes.
Thank you, everyone. That's nice. I'm a military historical artist, and before we unveil this painting, I just want to tell you how deeply humbled I am to be standing before you. What I do is, I'm a full-time artist, but largely most of the work that I do, and I would say about 85% of it is Coast Guard aviation. So it's awesome, and your stories are everything. So everything that I do is just a direct reflection of you guys. So thank you very much. I also want to, the painting that we're going to unveil to you is a painting that hopefully we've captured the 50 years of Aviation Training Center Mobile and their mission and their community relationship. And before we do that, I just want to thank a couple people for their help. Captain Tom McDonald and the men and women of Aviation Training Center Mobile for their awesome help. ATC Joe Long for sitting on the phone with me and talking about this project. And there's another guy, maybe you guys know him, Captain George Brennemeyer. He's done quite a great deal. So I just want to thank all of you. It is truly a privilege to be able to depict Coast Guard aviation. It's amazing. Thank you. Thank everybody for your attention, and this concludes the ceremony.
Please return to socializing.